if it's actually recording. Okay, so I'm recording on here. There's a camera there, and I'm recording on my laptop, which is over here. Hello, my name is Chimso. My full name is Chimso Okoye. That comes from the Igbo tribe of southeastern Nigeria. If you don't know where Nigeria is, it's in West Africa. You can call me Ure. You can call me Chimso. This video is just gonna be a bit of an introduction, I think, to my channel, or my content. Sorry, it's very strange for me to be on here, recording, talking on the internet for free. I actually used to make content, a few years back, my freshman year of college, so 5 years ago. I made content, and it's just been a while since I've done that. But I've been recording privately since November, and a couple weeks ago, I felt like I should start making my videos public. So this is just a video talking about what my content is going to be about. Essentially, I'm an internet philosopher. Well, I'm a real life philosopher. I exist in the real world, but where my philosophizing is going to be existing is primarily on the internet videos. I also write. I'm trying to get back into writing more consistently. I have a Substack. I have a WhatsApp channel that I share things with, and other means as well. But I want my content to primarily be focused on the fact that I am a philosopher of sorts. The way that I would like to describe myself is an applied philosopher. I don't know if that's an actual field of philosophy, but what I mean by applied philosophy is that I take a philosophical perspective to life experiences and things in society and in life. So a philosophical perspective in terms of asking certain questions, approaching things in certain ways, trying to get to the baseline roots, like foundational fundamentals of what something is, and not all these things that are built on top of it. And just trying to understand like what a thing is. That's a philosophical question, but what a thing it really is and what it is we're actually trying to achieve and reach as human beings in life. The reason why it's applied is because I apply this approach to things that we experience in human life for the goal of enjoying life a little bit better and making the world a better place for other people. So in philosophy, I think, typically, well, there's different ways that you can approach any topic, but the way when I think of philosophy or philosophers, I mainly think about people talking about those who construct entire ideologies and worldviews. And that's not necessarily the perspective that I'm taking. I'm taking the approach that people in philosophy use and applying it to everyday life, because that's just how I understand reality and how I move about my life. And I think it's very beneficial, and it can be beneficial to other people. So I'm here sharing. You can thank my friends for this. They were the ones that encouraged me to get on the internet and start talking for free. So that's why I'm here. Some of the topics that I'm interested in are Christian theology, economics, science and metaphysics, personal finance, business, relationships, and culture, but more specifically, African culture. And all of these things are basically me. Um, I'm a Christian. I've been a Christian for my entire life. I love Jesus. He's the most beautiful, the most important, the most wonderful thing in all of existence and reality. I'm actually in a PhD program for economics. I've loved science since I was a kid. More specifically, science is related to human beings. So I loved like the basic physiology lessons that we got in elementary school with like the different body systems. I've always loved chemistry. I've always loved math. In middle school, high school, I started becoming interested in psychology and neuroscience. But as I've gotten older, I've seen the more theoretical side of science, specifically physics. And I'm really interested in how like the interconnections between material reality and what we as philosophers call metaphysics, which is reality beyond what we can tangibly touch, observe, see, and measure. Really interested in the intersections between those things. So science is really interesting because it can reveal truths or what I would say commonalities or stable relationships between the material world. And I think that gives us a view into, oh, damn, bye. The camera just powered off. I got this from my friend as well. I don't know how to use it, but it just turned off. So I don't know if the recording is still going to be there. Anyways, yeah, I think things that we say about stable relationships, the reason why I'm not using truth, which you can get into another video, is because I think truth is actually such an elusive thing. Um, and what we define as truth is really just like stable, like relationships between things. But things can change and relationships can change and all these other things. But yeah, so I think things that we see, like relationships that we see as stable within the material world, can be reflective of non-material things that we experience. And as a philosopher, I am inclined to the metaphysical world, but I am very much like an integrative person. So I like seeing how one thing over here relates to another thing over here and where they're actually related. And I think the material world and the metaphysical world is a very interesting way to do that. Personal finance. So I'm actually a licensed financial advisor. I wrote a book on personal finance when I was in undergrad. I have a course about that I'm developing, and I studied finance in undergrad. In undergrad, I actually studied economics, finance, and entrepreneurship, which were three of the things that I said. I love personal finance for the fact that learning about how to manage your money actually puts you in a bit more control of your life and can give you a lot of options and freedom that you wouldn't have had before if you didn't have these resources or develop these habits, and can also lead you to having a lot of impact in the world. The world is run by people who have money, and people who have money are the ones that get to project their values onto the world, whether or not it is harmful for other people or helpful for other people. And I think more people who want to do things that are helpful for others need to have money, and not because like, oh, this is the system that we live in and we can't escape it. So no, actually, as an economist, I think money is neutral, and I think actually exchange, which is what money actually exists for fundamentally, is a very powerful thing that we need to understand a little bit better, and maybe just create a better environment for those things to happen. um which comes to the next thing, which is business and entrepreneurship. So I started a business in undergrad around personal finance and educating people about it and helping people understand, like, yeah, educating people and helping people come up with their own financial plans. Again, it's something that I am very passionate about. I still haven't, I'm not doing it as much right now just because of my PhD program. And I'm also doing an internship, but hopefully in the summer or sometime in my second year, I'm in my first year, I can start getting back into it more. I'm going to be using this channel to talk about it amongst all the other things that I am talking about. Relationships. I'm a highly relational person. I love people. I love human beings. I love relationships. I love community. I love love. I love intimacy. I love connection. I love transparency. I love growth. I love all of those things. I just love people. And yeah, so that's just like another part of me that I analyze a lot through a philosophical lens. And then culture, but specifically African culture, because like I said at the beginning of this video, I am a descendant from the Igbo tribe. My parents are both Igbo, both grew up in Igbo land in southeastern Nigeria. I've always been very connected to my culture ever since I was young. I remember being really young and begging my parents to teach me Igbo. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but as an adult, I'm trying to learn it. Grew up in African communities. I grew up in PG County, still live in PG County now after being away from school. And it's Africa over here. It's Africa. So most of my friends in school growing up were not even just African but Nigerian. So I've always, yeah, when I went to boarding school, Africans, college, Africans. So I've just been around African people my whole life. My church was African. Um, and I've always just loved my culture. But I think as I've gotten older, I've started engaging with it a little bit more, like mentally, and in um, not just in like more cultural settings like food, dance, music, things like that, but more understanding history, understanding yeah, I think primarily history has been my biggest entrance into it. And the PhD program that I'm doing it because I'm interested in working in economic development, and specifically for the African continent, because them as being my people. So all the things that I'm going to be talking about are basically me. But just because it's me does not mean that it's not going to be valuable to somebody else. I think all of these things are valuable to anyone that is interested in them. And the way that I approach things is I may be talking about a specific thing, but the approach that I'm using to talk about that thing can be applied broad based. So when I'm talking about Christian theology, I'm not just talking about Christian theology specifically. I'm going to be approaching it from a worldview perspective, and that approach can be applied to literally any perspective. Although I do believe Christianity to be the most coherent and the best and true. We can use that word here. I do believe it to be true. Um, I still think that my approach to analyzing Christianity can be used for any other worldview that you're interested in, or if I'm analyzing personal finance, like yeah, just the way that I approach things, I think can be applied across the board. So these are just topics that I'm really interested in that I want to be using. I want to be sharing with the world, like how I understand these things, how I approach them, how I think about it, to help people, I think, to think maybe more holistically, a little bit more critically, ask the right questions, look for the right things. I'm going to be teaching you guys the philosophy that I know. I'm not an official philosopher, but I've been thinking for as long as I can remember. I've always been an inquisitive person. I used to ask a lot of questions as a kid. I really started loving philosophy in middle school. I did the summer program for smart kids called CTY at Johns Hopkins Center for Talented Youth. The class that I took in seventh grade, which was a college level class, was logic and reasoning, but we also read and had a lot of philosophical discussions. So I've been very interested in philosophy for at least the last 10 years, but I've been a very inquisitive person as long as I can remember. So it's genuinely just the way that I've approached understanding reality for as long as I can remember. And I think it's given me a lot and it's helped me in a lot of ways. And I think I have a lot of perspectives that would be beneficial for people that I can share. So I just wanted to get on here and make it official just because I've been recording videos since November, just randomly talking about different things. They're private. You're not going to see them, but randomly talking about different things. But since I decided a couple of weeks ago that I actually wanted to start making my videos public, I'm like, okay, I actually need a bit of a brand, so people know what they're expecting when they come across my content. And I was like, I'm interested in so many different things. How can I pick just one? Because I want to talk about all of these different things. And I was like, you're a philosopher and you take a philosophical approach to life. You can touch on anything. You can literally touch on anything with that. So I'm really excited to start doing that and just building a structure around how I'm communicating these things. It's gonna be a journey. It's not true that I haven't done this before because like I said, I have videos up from 5 years ago, but I'm 5 years older. I have learned a lot. In this 5 years, I've gone through a lot. In this 5 years, I'm the same person, but I'm not the same person. I'm more refined than I was I just turned 24 last week. So when I was 19. And yeah, I'm excited for this journey. I'm excited for how it's going to form me. I'm excited for the people that hopefully I will meet along the way and people that will see my content and be inspired to think, be inspired to wonder, be inspired to see connections where they never saw them before. I'm really excited to open people's minds and open people's hearts to the strange wondrousness that is reality itself. Do I have anything else? I always want to talk more, but I'm learning to just like cut it off when the talking has done what it needs to do. So yeah, we'll see. Um, yeah, I'm trying to record every day, so this is actually my second recording today. But thanks for stopping by.